thank you for this opportunity and great speech by Chandramouli. And I could see the theatrics here. I never knew we could do such kind of abilities even in mono drama, something different, and it was exceptionally good, wonderful. I was asked to give a educational talk, and the topic they said, choose whatever you want to speak about, and I've chosen a topic like this. As we go into deeper, probably we could make the session more interactive, probably because of the time that is available, and probably because of the number of members who are also here, but a lot of new members are here. I would ensure that how I could relate with you. Probably a brief introduction about me. She said certain things which are difficult for me also to believe. But right. I remember the days when, during my school days, whenever I used to get my report card, I had my elder brother who used to get 90%. And it always happens in the family, right? When you have an elder brother, sibling, people start comparing. And he used to get 90%, and my dad used to spend few hours with him to trying to find out where he lost that 10%. So a lot of brainstorming used to happen, and I was a bit worried because I was there at the doorstep with 35% marks. So I would always wonder how long he would take to share his experience with me. But invariably, my father never commented anything. He would just sign off my papers, which was even more quite humiliating. I would ask my mom, why does he do it? She said, no, Daddy fully understands you because he knows your capacity. So whenever I used to get my report card, my dad used to take on my mom. He used to ask her, what does your son like? My mom would say he likes red tomatoes and he loves boiled eggs. Why do you ask that? She asked him. Yeah, I can see that in his report card. Everything was underlined red and all zeros. That was my life, but with all that, my brother used to get 95%. He was so modest when he had to put his signature. He used to literally write his name. But when I used to put my signature, it was like a star and slashes diagonally from left to right. My father used to tell me those days, even if he doesn't know how to score a single mark, he signs like a CEO of a company. So that's one area where my dad motivated me. Why I want to share with you all is, as I see a lot of new Toastmasters here, the whole transformation in my personal life happened because of this great movement called Toastmasters. At the age of 26, 1999, I joined Toastmasters. At 26, I had nowhere to go. Literally, I was lost for various reasons, and that's not the purpose of my discussion today. But once I moved to Toastmasters, people enabled me to believe in myself, and that took me to a lot of places. I wouldn't say that it's been really a great achievement that a lot of Toastmasters have gone beyond certain limits, but Toastmasters created an awareness in me, brought out that potential in me. It was like a mirror telling, hey, you've got a long way to go in life. Life doesn't end. The kind of bonding, the kind of friendship, the kind of mentoring process that happened has made me come to a place today and speak to you all. I wrote this speech probably at the top a few hours before, just the thoughts kept flowing. And that's why I like Toastmasters, because when I gave my first speech, Mr. Robinson, even now he'll say, I took my LTA, 8 days leave, just to do my icebreaker. The greatest challenge was that. But if today I'm able to comfortably speak for an audience and allow the situation to take control so that I can go along with the flow, I think that is the transformation that Toastmasters brought into my life. So going forward, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends, I'm not very great in science, as you already know, but still I chose leveraging Toastmasters for success. Yeah. Yeah. Archimedes says, give me a lever long enough on the fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. Science has got nothing to me, but yet it struck me. How can I connect that with a great movement called Toastmasters? The lever that we got is the tongue. If we are able to leverage that, we can really bring a big, we can move the world like anything. Don't you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah? So simple, but how effectively are we leveraging the skills that we have learned in the Toastmasters movement? Just think about life. In our school days, we found individuals who were brilliant in their talents. Don't you think so? We thought this person is going to become this in life. But fast forward, you will see this person has never lived up to that kind of an expectation. But given another scenario, you will find somebody whom you thought good for nothing, who would never go anywhere in life. Fast forward, you will realize he's become something very big in life. How does this happen? How does this change happen? It's not just because of the talents or the gifts that is there in you. There's a huge process that happens for you to achieve that kind of a success. That happens the way you leverage that is there around you. It is all there within you, but if you don't know how to use it, you will sit back and say, why I have not grown in life? That's exactly what I'm sharing with you all today. There are, in a book by Vineet Nair, he talks about employees first and customers second. He says there are three kinds of employees in any organization. I believe that it's also the case in any institution, even like Toastmasters. There are three kinds of people. The first kind of people are called the lost souls. You find them very often. Why do they lose focus? Why they've lost themselves in life? They would have started their journey with a lot of passion, determination, like my friend said, Tenzing and Hillary. No, but they were able to reach the mountain because of their grit and determination. But some people, somewhere down the line, end up becoming lost souls. There would be some Toastmasters here sitting here, wondering, why am I sitting here? Where am I heading towards? Why is there no focus in my life? How am I going to move out of the system which I got trapped, or I find no way out? There could be a few people here, or new Toastmasters who are entering into this movement. You are going to join with a lot of zeal, but there could be a possibility, a moment of time in your life where you're going to sit back and say, you're lost soul. Because this happened to a great organization like HCL that was doing so well, but it had a high percentage of people who had come under this category. The second class of individuals in any organization are called the fence-sitters. You often find them in political parties, but you also find them in organizations. Don't you think so? They wait for the next person to make the move. Whatever he takes, I will decide. You get into a syndrome where somebody else decides for you. You are not sitting here because you want to achieve. You are sitting here because somebody else has made you sit here. You are forced because of some compulsion, but given an opportunity, you will make your move. Are you in that kind of a situation right now? There could be, but you need to make a shift from there to the place where you need to go. But there are the third class of people, and they are called the transformers. The transformers constitute 10% of an organization. If you look at the Toastmasters movement also, you will find the top people, the core people who are driving this massive movement consists of those 10% of people. They are the live wires. They are the high performers. They are the key people who need to be always be motivated, engaged, and and what to say, pampered with. Now, I would like to ask you all today, probably even as a fresh Toastmasters, which category do you come under? Are you the lost soul? Anybody here? Probably it's for you to introspect. Yeah. Because it's no point in being here for many number of years and losing focus, or no point in being a fence sitter. What you need to be is, how do I scale up myself to be a transformer, to be that live wire? You saw the president? He is the perfect example of a live wire. It has got nothing to do with age. It has got nothing to do with your certifications. It has got nothing to do with your trophies. It has got something to do that is within you. And he's the right example. I don't know why somebody did not mention his age. It will put all of us to shame. But that comes because of his zeal. How many of us would like to be transformers? Shall we give ourselves a big round of applause? Being Toastmasters, every day come. How to become a transformer is what I'm going to discuss in the next few minutes. Right? Just get into the movement and be the top 10% and not be into a system where you are in these two brackets wondering where you are in life. When you say when a top performer, doesn't mean that you need to have a high level position in the system or you need to have some big role. It is just like an ordinary member. You are fully excited like any role that is assigned to you. So I would like to ask you a question. What is the first thing that determines your commitment to any organization or including Toastmasters? What is it that drives people? What is it that motivates people? Yeah. The first thing that is important is, what is your intention? What is your intention to join Toastmasters? Can someone tell me what is your intention? Why did we join Toastmasters? Yes, sir.
To lose the fear of public.
To overcome the fear of public speaking. In a matter of 6 months, my friend is going to overcome that fear. What next? That's where the challenge arises, right? What next?
To hone the skills already what you have.
To hone the skills, then? Anything else? Confidence? There could be various reasons, but the important fact is that you need to clearly define what is your intention of being in Toastmasters. If you're a startup member, it's very good, but as you go further, this intention varies from individual to individual. So whenever you don't find that drive, whenever you don't find that passion in life, you get back to that root and say, what was my intention? If your intentions are very clear, no matter what are the adversities, no matter what are the situations, you will face it. These don't become struggles simply because your intentions are very clear. If you love someone, you love that person for a lifetime. It doesn't matter what happens in the circumstances. Ultimately, you're committed towards that because of your intention. Agree with me or not? Agree with me on that? So every day ask yourself, if you're sitting in Toastmasters having another intention, then it's time for you to introspect. Yeah. There will be times when you've gone through all these stages, and what next? So as new members, as senior members, as who are all in this journey, we need to always ask ourselves, what is it that driving me in life? What is it that is motivating me? What is my intention of me being here today? Well, prior to me starting the company that I'm in today, I was always looking at people who were starting their own companies. Don't we do that? When we want to become a speaker, we always like to be with speakers who are very accomplished because we learn from them, we learn from their failures, we learn from their experiences, and we try to be like them. So I started doing this, looking at all the kind of speakers who were around, all the kind of entrepreneurs. So there was one person who came to me. I used to see the way they present their visiting card, the way they present their company profile, the way they carry themselves. But I used to always wonder, how is he running his company? What is his turnover? How is he managing his team? What will happen if there's a failure in the system? Don't you think so? It's not happened in a life. But it so happened I went to a Toastmaster friend of mine who's a very senior Toastmaster at ATM, a very good a leader in the organization. I told him, he asked me, what are you doing here? I said, I'm observing all these kind of people. He asked why. I told him a simple reason, because I don't want to fail. Because by looking at their failures, I'm going to incorporate them in my life. So I want to ensure that I don't want to fail. So I'm closely watching them. He made a very simple statement. There is no failure for you. I asked him, why no failure? It's very simple. If you're asked to give a speech, if you're asked to give a talk, even if they pay you 10 rupees, you're going to do the same passion. Even if they pay you a lakh, you're going to do the same passion. Because of your intentions. You able to accept the point that I'm going to tell? So once your intention is, I'm going to do because I love what I'm doing, then nothing can stop you from achieving success. But if your intentions are different, it could be, like, I've not got the trophy, so I'm going to leave. I've not got a leadership position, I'm going to leave. I've not got this kind of an environment, I'm going to leave. Then there is every possibility of you losing the focus of you becoming what you want to become in life. So it's very important for you to determine what is your intention. In every situation, you need to think on these lines. Moving forward, the second important is, are you a part of the system or do you create one? When I saw Chandramouli speaking today, it was not the usual speech that we hear, right? What made you do such an awesome presentation? Well, I'm just out of curiosity. You could have just stood there and read it out. Yeah?
Yeah.
What made you do that?
I just want to be different.
Don't you think so? Let's give a big round of applause. Now, this is what we need to understand, that in a system, there could be someone who wants to go beyond the system. Agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled the chair, he sat, he gave dialogues, he walked around, a lot of energy. He never called for that. But somebody in the system could say, it is not called for that, why he has to do it? That's where we need to accept one another. Toastmasters is so beautifully designed where you just enter into it, you go to that highest level of leadership. You just have to keep following those protocols, procedures, all those things. It takes you to that level. You want to give a speech, just stick to the manual, just observe the guidelines and you take it to the top. That is really good. But there could also be a few Toastmasters. For example, one of my friend came here and said, I'm in a t-shirt, I feel odd here. You don't have to feel odd. Right? Because at the end of the day, you are yourself. But it's important for you to align with the system. And ensure that you retain what you are, but don't have to get agitated over it by telling, I'm not going to Toastmasters because everybody is coming like that. So we need to accept you the way you are, but you need to also accept the system. Agree with me? You're with me on this? Yeah? There is a process that is there, but people who are creative, people from the theatre industry, movie making industry, media, they'll find it a little difficult because they're not process oriented. They're not system oriented. For them, creativity can come any time, any moment. So we need to accept that. So it is not that we need to do things in a very rigid manner. Right? But people who love systems, they will always adapt to the organization and go to the highest level, because for them, stability is important, for them, clarity is important, and growth is important. Whereas for others, they would always be like a pendulum moving this and this, because for them to adapt to the system would become very difficult. So for the new Toastmaster to join, don't get worked up when you see all this happening, but it's important for you to fall into the system. But once you achieve to the system, you go out and create your own system. You're with me on this? I'll share with a simple example. In all the contests that have happened, till date, I really don't know what is the judging criteria all about. I never saw the judging criteria. Simply because I don't want to be into the box to think out of the box. Right? I never want to be conditioned by certain parameters. Because I want to speak the way I want to speak, it is correct. But it was important for me to know the criteria, right? But it created a lot of rigidity in me. Okay? So you need to understand that you need to follow the manuals. At the same time, you need to have your own. It will be difficult for somebody who is on the other side, that is, somebody who is more on the right brain, if I'm right, more onto the creativity part, to get adjusted to a particular template. But you need to accept that you could be a part of a system, if not, you create your own system. Anybody who's got a doubt on this, probably when you enter the Toastmaster system, as you grow deeper and deeper, you will try to know why, what exactly I'm trying to tell. And the third thing is, go beyond your call of duty. Yeah? Though every role is clearly defined in Toastmaster, the president has to do this. When I entered the thing, I saw the President Godfrey doing all the role of a sergeant comes. Did somebody observe that? Now that is exactly what is called going beyond the call of duty, not wait for it. Though it is defined, it is the role of X, but don't wait for such a situation to happen. The really successful man is someone who goes beyond the call of duty, who doesn't wait for any such protocols. You are with me on this? Yeah. Recently we had done this is, by the way, the snap I just took this off. Anybody who knows that? Yeah. Maka, she was, she never had children, but in the memory she planted a lot of trees. So she went beyond the call of duty. She got a lot of awards and a great role model for all of us. I would like to share a certain incident that happened recently in my own career. A few days back, we had done a kind of a family day for 1,000 people. So there was a client who was quite difficult to manage. Then you had the resort people, you had the event management team. There's just a instruction given by my ex-CEO telling, why don't you coordinate this, just a small meeting. So when I was involved in the meeting, the three groups, the three parties were there, were at loggerheads with each other. Whatever be the reason, they had a lot of issues. So once, thanks to Toastmasters, it enabled me to have the patience, and I was able to interact with them. But once the meeting was over on a successful note, somebody came up to me and asked me, what did you get out of this? I am the owner of the resort. The stakes were high for me, so I fought for that. There was event management team, it mattered for them. Then you had the client, for 1,000 people, the client. What did you get out of it? I had no answer, but I had only one point to make. I told them, I wanted to see 1,000 happy people. And I wanted to generate employment 100 people. It happened last Saturday. We had a lot of people, the magician, the caricature man, whatever, the stand-up comedy, Rajshekar was there. So massive thing. Why? Because for the three people, the stakes were very high. But that did not matter. What is important is go beyond the call of duty. Because if that organizer decided, let me not have it, let us have a simple dinner and wind up with this event, what would have happened? Getting it? So our role is so important at every moment of our life, in our professional life and even personal life. Every small feedback, somebody gives a call in the night for a feedback over the phone, give that feedback to them. Because that small kind of a feedback, such kind of a small involvement in their life is something that goes beyond the call of duty. Yeah, that matters a lot. The fourth important thing, you all are with me on this?
Yes.
Yeah. The fourth important part is what defines you. Yeah. What defines you is very important in life, in our own Toastmasters. Here I would like to share an example. In one of the conferences, there was a very accomplished speaker who was wearing a badge. Just like how normally we wear a badge, in Toastmasters also there are certain levels where that person was wearing a badge. And now there was another a normal speaker who had to share the stage with him on the days, and both were sitting together, but the MC called on the normal speaker as the distinguished Toastmaster, called up the distinguished Toastmaster as by his name. Getting what I'm saying? So the person who was wearing the badge took it offensive and came back to me and told me, how could this happen? I was wearing a badge, clearly visible that I am the most accomplished speaker. Here was somebody who was sitting next to me, who was not at all been through certain levels, but how did it happen? I only had one answer. Probably the MC had seen a speaker in that person. Getting it? So what defines you? It's not your designation, it's not your certificates, it's not your trophies. It just gives you some kind of a drive or adrenaline. But the real fact is what defines you. Wherever you are a speaker. Once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. Wherever you go, instead of telling I'm a Toastmaster, people should ask, I think you're a Toastmaster. Which is better? When people come with their profiles for some recruitment for candidature, I asked them, people say, I'm a good communicator because I'm a Toastmaster. That doesn't make you a good communicator. People should say, you're a good communicator, that's why I think you're a Toastmaster. Getting it? That's what defines you. You define Toastmasters. Toastmaster does not define you. Yeah. Moving to the last point of my talk is, real skills are tested in non-Toastmasters environment. Yeah? Here we have a very positive environment, great, this is some kind of a lab, but your real test comes out, your credentials are tested very well. I remember a good person who came a few weeks back, and he came and told, I want to be a world champion. He was full of fire, there was fire in him, and he was all ready to become that kind of a champion. And it looked like he's going to make it, but I asked him to put him under a check. I told him one simple thing. Gentlemen, now that, imagine you're already an accomplished world champion. I'm going to invite you and give you a 15 minutes keynote address. You speak in my organization. What do you think of the response would have been? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody else? He said, impossible. 15 minutes keynote address? Impossible. Boss, I need 1 month time for that. Here was somebody undoing all the grind in life, going to the highest level, but when the real opportunity to face the real world comes, shies away from it. So you don't deserve to be a champion in lifetime. There are other people who can do that. So what I would like to tell is, just, it's a great place for us to learn, but the real challenge it is, how are we facing the real world out there? I think senior Toastmasters are better people equipped to tell the real life scenarios in all of us. Yeah. So friends, there are 5 little points that I shared with you all today. Can someone tell me what is the first point? Define what is your intention. What is the second point?
Part of the system.
Yeah.
Be a part.
Be a part of the system. Yeah. Then, or create one.
Yeah.
Then third one.
Beyond.
Go beyond the Call
Go
of Duty.
beyond the Call of Duty. Fourth. Yeah. Fourth
What
one.
defines you?
Yeah.
What defines
What
you?
defines you? And fifth one is your
The test.
skills are tested in the non-Toastmasters environment. What happened? Yeah. To sum up, I would like to say today the topic is so beautiful. Toastmasters is all about conquering ourselves, right? Conquering your own dreams. You don't beat anybody, you don't defend anybody, it's you conquer your own dreams. You know, there's a rock that was there in a Californian state. It is said that it was there for more than 10,000 years. This was called the Malibu Rock. But there was one man who said, that's a big nuisance in this place. I don't want that. So he filed a petition. He took the signatures of everybody in the locality and requested the government to remove the rock from that place. But removing that rock was not that easy. First they used all the bulldozers, then all the helipads. Then it ended up becoming a costly affair. Finally they used the water blasting methodology to remove that entire rock. The rock that stood for 10,000 years, but actually the real rock was deep within, 90% was within. In fact, it was in fact holding the entire locality actually. But then, finally the rock came down and people said, yeah, it came down. And there was another artist who was watching this in the neighboring hotel, watching the entire media attention, and he said, I would like to buy that rock. More than $1 million was spent on that, but this man said, I want to buy that rock. He bought that for a few dollars, just a few $100, $200, he bought the rock. But they told him, you need to vacate that in 48 hours. They took so much time to demolish it, now they want 48 hours to vacate. Everywhere the government is saying. So by the way, when he took that rock, he went back and he carved out, he sculpted a beautiful statue of Wayne Dyer. The very same Californian state bought that same rock for 10 times the cost they took to demolish the rock.
Oh my God.
That's what happens in life. One man saw it as a nuisance, as a menace, but someone else saw it as a opportunity. Somebody might have seen me as a Malibu rock, but somebody saw me as something different, sculpted my journey in Toastmasters. Friends, that's what I want to share with you today. It's all about possibilities. Believe in yourself. Anything that you say, don't give up on that. Don't give up. Somewhere down the line, you will see success. It is said that only 2% of people in the world achieve their dreams. I always wonder, am I in that 2% or the remaining 19%, those three levels of people that we saw? Yeah? Are you in that 2% or are you on the 98%? That's something that bothers me always. And the other important point that I will say, you are the sum of the 5 average people who are there around you. Right? And Toastmasters, do not worry. Everybody is full of energy. Everybody is full of positivity. You are in the right place. Just capitalize that opportunity. Use those situations and move forward. Leverage the Toastmasters opportunities to become the best in your life. Thank you.